And now to some politics in the Central African Republic, which we told you earlier. Since the constitution there of a new cabinet, which followed the signing of a new peace and reconciliation agreement, several armed groups have walked back on their commitment. And some ministers from the political parties named in this cabinet have been issued warnings by some rebel groups from cooperating. So why is there a rejection or opposition to the new cabinet instituted by President Theodora President Arch Theodora in the country? One thing that we do know is that there is been an allegation of exclusion and non-inclusivity of certain persons in the cabinet. Ruth.
That's correct, Jerry. Of the 14 armed groups that signed the Khartoum Agreement, prepared over the past year and a half by the African Union, more than half of the signatories have disapproved the government. According to its critics, it is a team too similar to the old one that has been formed. And to understand the various obstacles surrounding this agreement, we speak to Alexandre Ferdinand Ngende, president of the PRP and former president of the National Transition Council in CAR. Alexandre Ngende, why so many evils around the peace agreement in the Central African Republic? I believe that the last agreement signed was considered by our compatriots as the last chance agreement to the adventures that the country experienced. It was an opportunity for the Central African people to hope for a lasting peace. Unfortunately, immediately after the establishment of the new government, the main actors among the armed groups and some political parties that have been promoted in this government denounced it, and the democratic opposition considered that the authorities in place did not only respect the spirit of the agreement, but also the consensus that should prevail in the establishment of this government. And we felt that the President of the Republic will quickly assume his responsibilities, first to dissolve the government and set up a consensus government, an inclusive government as required by the Khartoum Agreement.
And the President also did speak about his grudges with the new cabinet and some of the things that he has expressed dissatisfaction with.
In this government, you note that the head of state has systematically renewed some 20 members of his former team, and hear that the President of the Republic is much more concerned about the 2021 deadlines. That is why he wanted to set up a team that is close to him and to have agreements with some armed groups and some representatives of political parties. The consequences are what we are seeing today, and thank God the chairperson of the African Union Commission invited all the signatories to this agreement on the 18th of March to Addis Ababa, and we hope that at the end of the Addis Ababa meeting, the President of the Republic will be right to reconsider the establishment by setting up a truly inclusive government capable of creating conditions for peace, unity, and national harmony. And what could be the consequences if the President were unable to satisfy your various demands? If the head of state can show dynamic compromise and the outcome of the Addis Ababa meeting to dissolve the government, I think he will grow up. But if he persists in continuing along this path, we fear that the same causes can produce the same effects. The Central African people have suffered too much, and it is not in the interest of the President of the Republic and those who signed this agreement to set the country on fire. And that is why, in the name of peace, unity, and national harmony, we always make an urgent appeal to the President of the Republic to listen to the voice of the Central African people, to show dynamic compromise, and to move in the right direction, so that peace can return to our country.
De faire preuve de compromis dynamique et d'aller dans le sens pour que la paix puisse revenir dans notre pays.